Okay. Call the March meeting of the Area Plan Commission to order. Can I have roll call, please?
Paul Alsip. Here. Ryan Baker. Kevin Beaver. Deborah Carter. Here. Terry Clark. Here. Mark Klinkenbeard.
Here.
John Collette. Norm Froderman.
Here.
Don Folk.
Here.
John Hanley.
Here.
Marcus Maurer.
Here.
Debbie May. Here. Amanda Thompson. Here. William Verdine.
We do have a quorum. Can I ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes from our previous meeting as well as the status report. Are there any comments or questions on that?
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We don't have any non-agenda public comments that you're aware of?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay, thanks. Executive Director's report.
Good evening. Couple things real quick. When you have two handouts there in front of you, those are both agenda items or related to agenda items, and I'll call those out once we approach. And then also want to remind everybody, next month, we will be in the commissioners area for our meeting, as this room will be closed for early voting.
Sydney?
Not much we're going to be hearing. I have a new amendment to the flood ordinance that we're gonna talk about this evening. And that's my main
Okay.
topic for the evening.
Okay. Any questions for our Executive Director or Assistant Director from the Plan Commission? Not, I'll entertain a motion on their reports.
Motion to approve?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Under committee reports, we have a director's memo recommendations on meeting time.
Yes, there was nothing official in your packets this month for this item, because I didn't know exactly how we would word it or construct it, but I did want it to be on the agenda, because I think that there are some valid points here to be made, and at this time, I think I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Klinkenbeard for comment on the item.
Sure. Thanks, Jared. Mr. President. Yes, recently our head of security for the building, Tom Little, requested for us to look at our hours for the meetings. Again, I think 3 years ago we went from 7 o'clock to 6, and we wanted to see how it worked. I think it's worked out really good. The problem with having it 2 hours later than when we close is that we have to, not only you folks have to stay around for 2 hours or whatever, but so we have to get security back here. And it can be quite an issue. It's kind of a pain, really. So I said I'd bring it back to the committee. We had a meeting here before this with the executive committee, and I think we were all in agreement that we would like to see it, meeting time changed to 5 o'clock as opposed to 6.
Yeah, I think that's right. That was the committee's recommendation. Certainly open it up for discussion from Plan Commission members, questions, comments, opinions.
County closes at 4.
4.
Every other county meeting is at 5. Like the city council meetings are at 5. Commissioners meetings, of course, in the morning, but I mean, I guess that's up to any other discussion.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion. I think 3 years ago, my concern in moving it was petitioners being able to be here to represent themselves that may have a job that they couldn't get away from, and being a business owner and having 60 employees, I have people that are leaving at 2 o'clock because they've got to go to the foot doctor or dentist appointment at So I think my opinion now is that if somebody needs to leave early one day to take care of something as important as a rezoning or a petition to this commission, they probably can get off. So I don't care, it works for me.
I just feel like it's important to be.
I believe that, yeah. Sure. Right. No, I think that's right, yeah.
Wait till 5, oh, security guy extra hour.
Right.
You guys are gonna, maybe 4:30, 4 o'clock. It's not much time yet. You guys have to do before this meeting.
4 o'clock might be tough just with people exiting the building and people trying to get in, do you think? You think that might be a little busy?
Yeah, possibly. I mean-
Possibly. I don't care.
You know how any business, when it's 4 o'clock, everybody's out the
They're
door.
gone,
so
they're gone, yeah.
They might run you over,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
Staff having a preference?
No, it really doesn't. I think he makes up a good point, because there is, we'll say a certain percentage of employees in the building that are in the parking lot and out at 4.
Yeah.
None of us, of course, are doing
Yeah.
that. But I think that would possibly cause some traffic or some congestion around the building if we put it at 4. Perhaps the 4:30 would be better, or even 5. Either way, staff will be flexible, and I think any of those times work for us.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Sure. Yeah. Any other comments? If not, certainly I would
I'm
entertain
okay
a
with either
motion
one.
for whatever time you prefer.
I think I would call upon, not every employer is as kind as you, unfortunately. They might not be as able to get
You don't
off.
think?
Yeah, I'm sure. But, I think at least 5 o'clock gives more people a chance to keep up work. And we're not in the traffic situation of people leaving and us coming. So if you're gonna leave it up, I say maybe try at 5 first. To see if it's public, if that's kind of this.
Whatever you want to move for, yeah. Sure.
Okay, I'll make it, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna make a motion.
There you go.
Go for it.
ahead.
Go for it.
I'm gonna make a motion to change it from 6 o'clock to 5.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
When would you like that to begin?
I would assume
Tonight.
next meeting. He wants me to adjourn.
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with next meeting. Would anyone here have an objection to that?
No.
Have we done any publications or put out any signs or anything? I think our signs that are out currently for petitioned items still say 6 o'clock.
Don't you have it out,
But the signs that
put it
we,
in the newspaper and stuff like that?
yeah, but the signs we give people have times already printed on them, and things that were submitted today for next month are, still say 6 o'clock.
So you want to go another month, probably,
I
to make
think
sense?
Give us a
Right,
chance
May.
to adjust those signs for,
Sure.
as they go out. I mean, I might be able to find them and track them all down in yards and get it out there with
I don't
Sharpie,
think,
but people
I don't
might
think that's
question what
worth,
I'm doing.
I don't think it's worth the effort to you. Wait till May.
I think May's fine, yeah.
Well, just to go May.
We'll go May?
Yep.
Okay, May.
Good.
You've got a couple items of communications that Jared said he'd get to when we get to agenda items, which looks like that's where we are. Our first item, under new business, city rezonings, docket number 22, special ordinance number 1, 2026, 2722 South Fruit Ridge Avenue, Terre Haute, from an R1 to an R1 PD plan development.
The owner is Madcar LLC. The proposed use is a low-intensity, appointment-only professional financial planning / wealth management office. Proposed zoning is R1 plan development. Current zoning is R1 single-family residence district. Common address is 2722 South Fruit Ridge Avenue. It is a suburban residential area. It has R1 to the northeast, south, and west. Planned developments are uses that may be permitted under certain circumstances that are not a permitted use in the zone district where said planned development is proposed. A planned development is a floating zone. Before the planned development can be considered, the petitioner must show proof of one of the following unique circumstances: that the petitioner has a hardship due to the physical characteristics of the land, hardship due to the improvements on the land, hardship due to adjacent scattered incompatible uses, hardship due to the general deterioration of the neighborhood, or a parcel located near district boundary lines. When it is determined by the Area Plan Commission and City Council that a hardship does exist, a planned development of certain uses can be approved for any zone lot. However, it must be determined that said proposed uses, if approved, will be in the public's interest and that substantial justice will be done for the neighborhood. Approval of said proposed uses shall not have the intent of nullifying the purpose of the zoning regulations. The petitioners are requesting to rezone the property to R1 plan development for the use of an appointment-only financial planning/wealth management office. The petitioners they were requesting, they did actually amend their petition. They were requesting 0 setbacks, but they did remove that from their petition. So now they're only asking for off-street parking in accordance with the approved plan development site plan, which they work with engineering with. Due to the surrounding uses, this could be considered spot zoning. Given that the area is considered suburban residential district and the property is surrounded by R1, having a commercial business at this location could be considered an intrusion of commercial into residential, depending on the type of business. The closest commercial zoning, which is a C3, is approximately 2,500 feet to the west. However, being appointment only as stated in the plan development would limit the amount of traffic to the property. In their recommendation, the Department of Engineering states the parcels surrounding the property are zoned R1 to the northeast, south, and west. The intended use would not alter the neighborhood's characteristic or create any significant problems for the surrounding area. The Department of Engineering offers a positive recommendation for this zoning. Staff offers a favorable recommendation with site plan approval by the Department of Engineering.
Is the petitioner present? Anything you'd like to add to staff's report?
Open to any questions.
Okay, any questions from anyone on the Plan Commission?
I have one question. As far as staffing goes, is this planned for multiple employees?
There's 2 of us. We plan in the next year or so, maybe a part-time admin, but that's our
Okay.
full plans there.
Any other questions?
I have a question about the rezoning.
Sure.
It's residential all the way around. This is for a minimal activity business. But if it's rezoned, what about if they close, it's zoned for other things? Could something else go there without?
Not as a plan development.
Not as a plan development.
No.
That's the good thing about planned developments, is if they do not materialize within 18 months, or if the use stops for some reason or goes away, then it reverts back to the underlying,
To R1?
yes.
Oh,
Okay, thanks. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not at all. Thank
Any
you.
other questions? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this issue? Not, I'll entertain a motion. Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next item under new business subdivisions, minor, primary, secondary, docket number 13, file number 7, 2026, Matthew Phillips minor subdivision.
The property has frontage along East Trimmer Drive and is commonly associated with 9126 East Trimmer Drive, 16.34 acres into 2 lots. The surveyor is Mr. Norman. The applicant is requesting to subdivide the 16.34 acres, creating 2 new lots. Health Department has indicated Lot 1 will need soil borings prior to development. The home on Lot 2, which was built in 1898 with no recorded improvements since 1940, so there are no septic permits on file for Lot 2. As public sewer is not available, septic systems will need to be utilized, public water is not available. It's not in a flood zone, and the lots do exceed the minimum lot size requirement. East Trimmer is considered a local level roadway at this location. Approval of the plat is contingent upon it being recorded within 90 days. Staff is of the opinion additional new residents at this location would not serve to overburden the local infrastructure. On 2/9 of 2026, a visual inspection of the property was made by Vigo County Area Planning Department. The inspection did reveal apparent violations of the zoning ordinance, more specifically section 1101B2. A subsequent inspection revealed that the violation had been resolved. So staff would like to thank the petitioner for resolving the issue in a timely manner. So we do offer a favorable recommendation with a road cut permit if needed.
Is the petitioner present? Anything you'd like to add to staff's report?
Any questions?
Okay, any questions for the petitioner from Plan Commission members? Is there anyone else here that would like to speak to this issue? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
So move for approval.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next item under new business, docket number 14, file number 8, 2026, a replat of B&B Ranch.
The property has frontage along East Oregon Church Road with a common address of 5805 and 5701 East Oregon Church Road, 15.09 acres into 3 lots. The surveyor is Mr. Keller. The applicant's requesting to replat B&B Ranch, adjusting 2 lots and adding 1. 2 variances have been requested. Health Department is approved. Public water is not available, public sewer is not available. It's not in a flood zone, and the lots do exceed the minimum lot size requirement. East Oregon Church is a secondary collector roadway with proposed roadway right-of-width of 60 feet. A variance of scale has been requested due to the large area involved. Also a variance from section 610310H1, building line setbacks. More specifically, a variance of 9.3 feet from the required 25-foot front setbacks has been requested. The request was made citing that the existing building has been constructed prior to the adoption of the ordinance and that the application of the ordinance creates a hardship for the existing homeowner. Staff is of the opinion that the requested variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, convenience, or general welfare of the community. The value of the areas adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, and the strict application of the terms of the ordinance have resulted in an unnecessary hardship, excluding financial reasons in use of the property. Therefore, staff recommends favorably on the variances requested. The approval of the plat is of course contingent upon it being recorded within 90 days, and staff's opinion that an addition of a new residence at this location would not serve to overburden the local infrastructure. So we offered a favorable recommendation with road cut permits if needed.
Is the petitioner present? Anything you'd like to add to staff's report?
No, questions from you?
Okay. Any questions from for the petitioners from the Plan Commission? Anyone else here that would like to speak to this issue? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I have one question.
Sure.
It's gonna remain agriculture, right?
Yeah, you're not doing anything as far as zoning.
Okay.
Yep.
And then as far as recording the new plat map,
Mm-hmm.
would we get that and then record it, or would it just get recorded straight out of here?
You will have, they'll have to bring it in and record it, right?
Yes, we have the copy. You'll have to come into the office and we'll escort you down to the
They'll walk you
recorder's
down
office.
there and take,
Okay.
yeah, they'll walk you right through it.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you so much.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next item under new business, docket number 20, file number 11, 2026, Phillips 3-lot subdivision.
The property has frontage along Gannon Road and is commonly associated with 2175 Gannon Road, 62.49 acres, 3 lots, surveyors Mr. Keller. The applicant is requesting to subdivide the parent tract, creating 3 new lots. A variance has been requested. Health Department has approved, however, a plat amendment has been requested. Public water is not available. It is not the flood zone, and the lots do exceed the minimum lot size requirement. Gannon Road is considered a secondary collector roadway. Approval of the plat is of course contingent upon it being recorded within 90 days. A variance of scale has been requested due to the large area involved. Staff is of the opinion that the requested variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, convenience, or general welfare of the community. The value in the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The strict application of the terms of the ordinance have resulted in an unnecessary hardship, excluding financial reasons in the use of property. Therefore, staff does recommend favorably on the variance request. The plat does list those areas between the lot line and the setback line as dedicated to public utility and drainage easements. Typically, this language is intended for surface runoff and stormwater control. Staff is requesting an amendment to the plat to clarify that these areas or other areas not currently identified be dedicated to subsurface drainage. This will clarify any ambiguity on the plat as well as assist in any future health department approvals. On 2/19 of 26, the Vigo County Ordinance Officer, the Enforcement Officer visited the property and discovered a violation of Chapter 52 Health Nuisances. A notice was given to our office and mailed to the property owner stating that the property contained garbage, trash, rank vegetation, or other waste substances that needed to be removed. So we offer a favorable recommendation with the following conditions: road cut permits if needed, that minor plat amendment, and the remedy of the Chapter 52 ordinance violation.
Is the petitioner present? Anything you'd like to add to staff's report? Okay. Any questions from anyone on the Plan Commission?
Did they resolve the 52?
Have you resolved the violations of the health department?
got anything in the mail about it.
So they have not sent notice, or you don't know, or he hasn't received notice? We don't know the answer to that.
We don't. Our notice was hand-delivered, but building inspection would have
Okay.
normally mailed it. So I would assume they had mailed it by now. I don't
Okay.
know whether they have or not. I've not confirmed that portion of it.
Okay.
But I can tell you what the ordinance officer told me personally and what I observed when I was out there
Mhm.
is construction debris.
Okay.
that was piled.
But you're
That was-
you're aware of what they're describing, and obviously if,
Yeah, I got a scrap pile there from, I'm in construction, I haul home metal for job sites, and I pile it up until I get a large enough pile. But since the West Terre Haute scrapyard closed down, that's where I used to take it, and now I gotta get it at like 3:30 to get it to the one in Terre Haute, and I just haven't got around.
right, you understand that if we subdivide this tonight, it will be contingent upon you resolving that issue to the satisfaction of the health department. Okay. Any other questions from plan commission members? Is there anyone else here that would like to speak to this issue? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item under new business, subdivisions, major primary, docket number 17, file number 9, 2026, Mallory Grace subdivision.
The property is bounded by Putnam Street on the south and 16th Street on the west, 1.73 acres into 9 lots. Surveyor's Mr. Tolles. The request is to replat the existing lots into 9 new lots for residential development. Health Department has approved a sanitary sewer is available. Public water is also available. It's not in the flood zone, and the lots exceed the minimum lot size requirement. Stormwater drainage will be required, or is typically required with major subdivisions. The petitioner has requested primary and secondary. However, staff is only willing to make a recommendation on primary at this time, mainly surrounding one issue. Putnam Street, as it currently exists, does not lie within the existing platted right-of-way. As is known to happen, roads will meander over time if allowed to do so. This has happened to Putnam Street. As depicted on the plat, Putnam Street will traverse the southwest corner of Lot 8, close to the setback lines. This would create a hardship for the owner of Lot 8. This would also give ownership of a portion of a public street to the owner of Lot 8. Neither of these scenarios are acceptable. So to resolve this issue, Putnam, a public street, needs to either be reconstructed back in the platted right-of-way or placed in a new right-of-way. To do this, the developer may need to dedicate right-of-way. No current dedication is indicated on the plat. Alternatively, and depending on the extent and duration of use as it exists, the road could be considered a prescriptive easement, not needing dedication of right-of-way. If determined to not be a prescriptive use, the city then may need to purchase right-of-way. A third option would be the vacation of the existing right-of-way, which would allow for the developer to construct a private street. This could prove a more difficult option given the vacation process. Also in need of consideration are any utilities that may have been installed along the existing roads. It's common that public streets allow for work by utilities within the right-of-way. The road exists outside of the platted right-of-way and may have utilities present that will need to be moved. The location of the existing utilities are not depicted on the plat. So in conclusion, there are several unknowns surrounding an existing roadway critical to the development of this subdivision. And to which point this issue is resolved, we would only offer a recommendation on the primary plat with the knowledge that a number of the lots, size, or location may need adjustments prior to the secondary plat being filed.
Okay. Matt, are you representing the?
Yes.
Did you follow all that?
Yes.
Gosh, I did too.
I'm Matt Voris with Fishbeck, representing the owner, Jim Wallace. We were aware of everything that the staff report mentioned, and we feel like it probably will be a prescriptive easement because it's been there like 80 years, Putnam Street has. And there's a water main right there as well. We'll probably end up dedicating a triangle piece to the city, I would imagine. We haven't discussed it with Marcus yet and his team, and then whatever total frontage we'll have, we'll divide that back down. And so all of those 8 lots will just get smaller, basically, and still try to stay within the constraints of the code for the minimums. But, that's basically it.
Okay.
I'm Richard Shagley. I represent Jim Wallace. I'd like to just correct one thing. Matt maybe mistakenly said that there was a prescription. There could be.
Could be.
There might be.
There might be.
But we don't know that at this
Yeah,
time.
right,
So
yeah.
just for clarification.
Then I have a question, so you're saying that even if you have to make these adjustments on a land, but this size of the lots will still leave it above the allotment minimum.
Well, right now, they're just over, I don't know. Yeah, we can, I believe we can still, we can do what I said, is dedicate the triangle piece, and then we can adjust the lot sizes and still be within the constraints. I think it's 50 feet wide and 6,600 feet lot size. And we're, just at a glance, it looks like we should be able to do that.
But you're okay with us proceeding on a primary only, because it's almost all we can do tonight?
That's,
Yeah.
yeah, we understand that.
Okay. Any other questions from Plan Commission members? Anyone here that would like to speak to this issue? The recommendation should be, if it is for approval, would be for primary only. We do have a motion.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item under new business subdivisions, major primary, docket number 18, file number 10, 2026 K Wall subdivision.
The property has frontage along South 17th Street, though vacant. It does have a common address at 1905 South 17th Street, 0.68 acres, 5 lots, surveyors Mr. Tolles. The request is to subdivide the parent tract, creating 5 new lots. Health Department has approved a sanitary sewer is available. Public water is also available. It's not in a flood zone. Currently, none of the lots meet the minimum lot size requirement, which is 6,600 square feet for single family or 13,200 feet for two-family residential. The area is well served with other utilities, and stormwater drainage may be required with the major subdivision. The location is already zoned for single-family and two-family uses. The developer has proposed a residential use for the new lots. The petitioner has requested primary and secondary approval. However, none of the lots meet the current minimum lot size requirement for either single or two-family. So therefore, staff is only able to offer a recommendation on the primary plat, as BZA approvals will be needed or lot numbers and sizes will need to be adjusted. Setbacks on the plat may need adjustment. The rear setbacks should only be 11 feet from the rear. However, the petitioners can be more restrictive if they so desire. We do offer a favorable on the primary plat.
You okay with primary only on this one as well? Seems like that's the right thing to do. Okay. Any questions from anyone on the Plan Commission about this petition? Anyone here that would like to speak to this issue? If not, I'll entertain a motion on primary only.
Move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next item under new business, subdivisions, major, primary, secondary, docket number 11, file number 6, 2026 Tuberosa 3-lot subdivision.
The property is commonly associated with 1729 Hendrick Street, but also has frontage along Beach Street. 0.68 acres, 3 lots, surveyors Mr. Meyer. The request is to replat 6 lots in 8th Avenue Place sub, creating 3 new lots for residential development. Health Department has approved a sanitary sewer is available, public water is available. It's not in a flood zone, and the lots do exceed the minimum lot size requirement. Stormwater drainage may be required with the major subdivision. This property is surrounded by single-family residential uses and zoning. The addition of 2 new homes will not serve to overburden the existing infrastructure. Reuse and redevelopment and keeping with surrounding uses is encouraged. This is a major subdivision due to the number of lots created from the parent tract over time. Due to the size and intended use of the property, staff would request a waiver of major subdivision rules in favor of the minor subdivision rules. The setbacks as indicated on the plat are more restrictive than required, depicted as 25 feet for the rear. The developer may choose to be more restrictive if so desired. Approval of the plat is contingent on it, of course, of being recorded in 90 days. We do offer favorable in the primary and secondary with the following needed prior to permitting. Road cut permits where needed, drainage and erosion control plan if requested, bonding for infrastructure if requested, and fire department approval.
Is the petitioner present? Anything you'd like to add to staff's report?
I'm Roger Meyer, surveyor.
Okay.
On behalf of the petitioner.
All right. Anything you'd like to add or just?
Any questions?
Okay. Any questions from anyone on the Plan Commission? Anyone here would like to speak to this issue? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Next item, under new business county rezonings, docket number 12, UZO number 4, 2026, 2044 North Main Street, Sealyville, from an RS to an R2 two-family residential district.
The property owner is Taylor Made Properties LLC, who do own the property at 2044 North Main Street in Cedarville. It's located on North Main Street in Cedarville, approximately 1,149 feet south of the intersection of North Main Street and Highway 40. Currently zoned RS single family, the request is R2 two-family residential for a new duplex. Surrounding uses are residential, as indicated. RS to the north, south, and east and west is R2. This area should be well-served with utilities. No site plan or parking plan was submitted. Parking for an R2 duplex development is set at 2 spaces per dwelling unit per section 14, which is the table of off-street parking regulations. The property owner stated he wants to build a 3-2 in each unit, which I believe to mean a 3-bed, 2-bath, if that is correct. Due to the topography of the location, buildable area may be restricted. Accordingly, the petitioner has applied for 2 variances through the Board of Zoning Appeals, one for the reduction in the front yard setback from North Main Street, and the second for the rear yard setback. This rezoning can be approved independent of any Board of Zoning Appeals approvals. Utilities are available to the property and are sufficient to handle the development. Adjoining property to the west was rezoned in 2017, establishing a development pattern for this district. The current request represents only a minor expansion of that district. So based on the above findings, staff does offer a favorable recommendation on the R2 district rezoning request with the approval of the site plan.
Is the petitioner present? Anything you'd like to add to staff's report? Okay. Any questions for the petitioner? Anyone here that would like to speak to this issue? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So move for approval.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next item under new business county rezonings, docket number 15, UZO number 5, 2026, 5109 North 13th Street, Terre Haute, from an R1 to an M1 light industrial district.
As indicated, 5109 North 13th Street is the address. Owned by Sumner Properties, the current zoning R1 single-family residential district, and the proposed request M1 light industrial district for storage or warehouse. This area does have a high-intensity employment area designation, and access to the site will be off North 13th. The R1 zoning at this location is an original zoning. The property owner wishes to expand the current use, adding 2,760 square feet onto the north end of the building for more storage, and thus forfeiting the legal non-conforming status. The building has been on the property since 1982 per the assessor's office, and has been used primarily for storage of equipment. The petitioner requested several variances to the Board of Zoning Appeals, including relief from the hard surface parking and a reduction of 10 feet from the required 40-foot front yard setback on North 13th Street. They also requested a reduction of 10 feet from the required 15-foot yard setback on the north side, along with no landscaping or buffering. Petitioner may also request relief from the county engineer for a stormwater and drainage plan, as said plans are required for uses of this nature. As noted, M2 is located immediately to the west and R1 to the east. The transition and decrease in intensity in between the two zonings via a lighter industrial or commercial zoning intermediary acts as a buffer. So staff did offer a favorable recommendation on the proposed M1 rezoning request with the Board of Zoning approvals that are needed. Board of Zoning Appeals approvals that are needed.
Okay. Keaton, anything you'd like to add? Any questions for the petitioner? Anyone here that would like to speak to this issue? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next item under new business, county rezonings, docket number 19, UZO number 7, 2026, 7964 East First Street, Riley, from an R1 to a C7 general commercial district.
The property owner, Hunter Ridge Holdings, do own the property at 7694 East First Street in Riley. It's currently zoned R1 Single Family Residential with the proposed zoning of C7 General Commercial District for dog grooming, boarding, and other related services. This area has been identified as neighborhood conservation, with the surrounding uses being residential to the north, west, and east, and to the south, C2. This area is residential with a few lots zoned for commercial as indicated. The property owner wishes to rezone the property that was formerly the Riley Food Mart. Later it was used as an antique store. The petitioner purchased the property wanting to expand from her home occupational business. At the time of purchase, the previous use was a legal non-conforming use. Since the petitioner will not be continuing the existing use, the property will need to be rezoned. We did not initially have a site plan submitted. The petitioner has requested a special exception through the Board of Zoning Appeals for outside runs. There are also a number of variances requested. The variance requests are as follows: 0 feet from South Washington Street, 0 feet front setback from East First Drive, no hard surfacing, no landscaping, no 30-foot buffer in the rear yard, no on-site parking, and a no loading area. There are only minimal parking spaces on the property currently, and those existing spaces will be turned into outside runs. Zero parking is a concern, as all commercial uses require on-site parking as to not interfere with the flow of traffic on surrounding streets. As on-street parking will be used, this could create site prism issues, as the existing building already occupies space up to the property line. The least restricted parking standards we could find for this use was 3 spaces plus 1 for each 2 employees on a shift plus 1 for each 3 pet owners attending training plus 1 ADA, which equates to 5 plus 1 ADA. It's doubtful that there's enough room even with on-street parking to meet this development standard. The BZA is going to have to consider the no parking and other variance requests carefully. C7 is a tough fit for this location. First, the zoning and development standards require that it should be located along a major thoroughfare and be generally located within commercial areas. Neither of those really exist here. Further, C7 uses such as racetracks, sports arenas, RV campgrounds, uses that could be considered disruptive to primary residential surroundings. A similar argument then could also be made for a kennel with outside runs, which is one of the petitioner's intended uses. Next, this property has had multiple uses that have operated under the legal non-conforming status. These uses would have existed in a less intensive zoning classification, such as a grocery store, which is C1, and a flea market indoor, which is C3. This is evidence that perhaps, but not conclusively, that the C7 zoning may not be the best and highest use of the property. The C3 zoning, while also not particularly a great fit, would allow for pet grooming, but would require it and other pet-related services, including boarding, to remain indoors. This would preserve the existing parking, alleviating some of the safety concerns with on-street parking, and also help to limit noise or other issues common with kennels. So in conclusion, staff is supportive of reuse and redevelopment. Placing convenience and services in outlying areas benefits the residents in those geographic areas, fostering a sense of community. However, it's important to consider the public health, safety, comfort, morals, convenience, and general welfare when making a recommendation. So staff does offer a favorable recommendation so long as a safe solution is found for the parking and adequate measures are taken to prevent common noise, smells, and other similar nuisances upon surrounding uses. This recommendation is also contingent upon Board of Zoning Appeals approvals as listed above. I did want to call out, we did receive a letter of remonstrance from an adjoining property owner citing concerns. To be more specific, they own the house across the alley directly west of the petitioned property. They had questions over the unknown number of dogs, 17 feet from their home, of course, noise of the dogs barking. And they also cited they were unsure of the intended hours of operation, demand for parking, and the disposal of the waste from the dogs.
Okay. Is the petitioner present? Anything you'd like to add to staff's report?
Yeah, I would just like to say with that, the sanitization of the place will not ever be an issue. We're very clean. I've been running a pet grooming business for over 10 years, and we are extremely picky about sanitizing areas, and there's always going to be somebody on staff. The dogs are never going to be unattended or not picked up after, and we're very good at sanitizing.
Okay.
And then the noise issue as well. They're also being attended to. The dogs they're gonna be playing obviously, but it's just gonna be during like the hours of probably 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening. It's not gonna be anything after 6 o'clock PM, so. I mean, there will be a little bit of barking, but it's not gonna be extremely disruptive.
Okay. Mr. Shagley?
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow members of the commission. My name is Richard Shagley. I'm an attorney at Wright, Shagley & Lowry. And tonight I'm here on behalf of the town of Riley. This, as you know, is the town of Riley. Angela came to our meeting Monday night, although she was a half an hour late because the notice that she got gave the old time that we met. So we meet at 6 o'clock on the first. And as far as time goes, I welcome the 5 o'clock that you changed it to. This is a little side note.
Okay.
So thank you for that. For your meetings. But some of these same issues were raised from the neighbor across the alley. And it's my understanding that you actually reached out to that person, they never called you back or never.
Yeah, there was.
Because she's there every day. If they really had an issue, I think there was ample opportunity. But these same questions that were brought up by the neighbor were brought up by the council this week. And Angela's nice enough to take us all across the street to show the progress of the work that they have been able to do at this point. And I think I think the general consensus was they were going to be happy with their new neighbor who's going to be closer. Because as she stated, she's been doing this out of her home for a while.
Okay.
She's taken over a building that's been sitting empty for a long time. And based upon the work she has started already, this building was in bad shape. Except for the second floor, that was so remarkable.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
anyway, I have answered questions, or I'm sure
Okay.
Angela, do you have any?
Questions or comments from
Yeah,
the planning
you might
commission?
tell them about the street, the ordinance you passed.
Yeah. So when Angela started this process, as you can hear by the variances, there's a lot of issues. And one is, it turns out that First Street is pretty wide. And, you're not allowed to park in the right of way and off-street parking. Well, the town passed an ordinance allowing for parking between Lafayette and Washington, so there could be parking, so that would allow Angela and for some spots along that street. She still has to go through Board of Zoning bills on Wednesday, but she appears to be jumping through all of them she needs to jump through.
Okay.
And I think, again, the overwhelming acceptance by the town council, and there's a couple of members of the public that were at the meeting, and she was nice enough to give us a tour. I think it's going to be a nice addition to the community, especially with the proximity to the new trail that goes through there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
My concern, now, your business now, you live next door to this, or where do you run your business?
We live across the street,
So it's in that same area?
Washington, so same street, block away, we're, yeah,
But
right
it's
across the street.
Ruby,
Yes,
not Horton.
correct.
That's a big difference.
Yes.
I probably want to move if I was that neighbor. I couldn't stand working all day. 6 in the, what'd you say, 6 in the morning or 8 in the morning, 8 at night, would drive me crazy.
8 in the morning to 6 at night.
I would drive me crazy. I've been at my daughter's son-in-law's enough with a barking dog at UPS and Amazon and the mailman, front and back of the house. Drives my nerves to me.
Yeah.
And dogs bark, and I understand they're on tape, but I have an issue in Bradley there, and I used to shop at the Riley Mall.
Yeah.
And then downstairs was a cash sheet, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But, I think it's great to use the building for grooming, but I don't think it's a place to have runs for dogs in a residential community. That's the issue I have.
So on the new construction, we are doing double insulated walls for sound purpose. There's not gonna be excessive noise outside of the building. Once you come into the place, you're gonna hear dogs barking, but there's rooms being built double insulated walls, you won't be able to hear a peep outside.
So maybe not do the outside runs. Now, I have an issue with that.
I mean, dogs have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, you gotta.
So,
They use it when they get groomed.
no.
I think this is an issue in the community, in a residential community, to have dog runs in town. Is it fair to the neighbors?
With all due respect, the town of Riley is very pet oriented. That entire neighborhood owns pets. I've been a pet groomer in Riley for a long time. I've lived in Riley for 27 years, and I'm very active in the neighborhood. And everybody in the neighborhood has pets. I mean, I think it's a general consensus in the neighborhood that everybody's pretty pet friendly. So, I
I would
just want to throw that out there.
I would agree with that. At least during the town board meetings around there, there's always people, at least once or twice during the meeting, walking by. I mean, it's, plus with the trail, yeah.
And it's one thing to hear your own child cry, but to hear the neighbors from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock is a different thing. And that's why the grooming, I think it's great to use that building. But I'm opposed to.
Be outside all day.
Yeah.
But if it's a barking
Yes.
dog, they will bark. My daughter and son-in-law have a dog that barks. And it doesn't matter. They had it in the pet care. They said, how can they keep dogs stop barking?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
She said, well, she could figure it out how they, but, so some dogs bark. I understand there's some that don't. That's a concern for the residential community. Zone this approval for outside work.
In that specific area there, that block, there are 7 dogs in outdoor fenced-in yards all around the building. So there's already dogs barking all around the neighborhood. There's fenced-in yards right there next to the building with dogs in it already barking. So it wouldn't be contributing to.
This isn't gonna be the first dog in the area. And these issues were discussed by the town council, who are all residents of the town of Riley. They didn't have any issues with their dog or dogs, we didn't have any additions or concerns.
I think, Bill, you had a comment or question or
I
concern?
just was gonna say, isn't the trail parking lot right across the street from there?
Yes.
I mean,
Well, it's the town hall parking lot.
I know it's the
By-
town hall, I
And
got
that
it.
parking lot's by the trail.
Right, I get it. I'm
Bill
just saying,
wants
as
to
far
use
as
it for the
parking
trail.
goes,
But as far as.
that,
when the
let me
store was
finish.
open,
Let me
they parked
finish.
along the south
Yeah,
side.
let
Can I
Bill finish.
Thank you. The problem is, you made one statement that I don't want anybody to put lightly. That street's probably 1.5 times all the streets in Riley.
Yeah,
I mean, it's wide.
it's super wide.
Yeah, and so people are parking on the side of that street all the time anyhow. I mean, I live there.
Yeah.
I live right down the street from your place. I mean,
Billy, it's funny you said, because when we went out there the first time, I thought the same thing, and that particular day, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There were cars, I mean, they're already parking all along, and not just a section that the town approved, but all along there.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how that's supposed to be, and that's where they're.
Well, I know our kids went to school practice, so I used to go to the school. That road was wide enough that there was the parking issue. We pulled in against the south side of the building. So there's quite a bit of spaces there for parking. My concern is with outdoor runs.
Any other questions or comments
Mr.
from planning commission members?
If I could. First, Riley is God's country, so thank you for investing in Riley some more. We appreciate that. I have no problem with the parking. My only question, have you considered possibly a privacy fence around the dog walking area?
There will be a tall fence around the dog area for the dogs, so they can't see out, people can't see in.
That's it, okay.
Yes,
Okay,
it'll be
thank you.
private.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this issue in the audience?
Sure.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Becky Klingel, and I own Preferred Realty, where I'm a residential and commercial agent. And so I am torn on this decision because I do have clients, the Millers, who have submitted the letter to Mr. Baylor, and that is the first house they've chosen to flip. They're retirees, and they hire a professional contractor. I've seen their closing statements. They're doing it for the community's benefit. They're not doing it for pure profit. This is putting a bad taste in their mouth. They were planning to keep doing this, and the houses that they've since flipped that I've helped them sell, 2 of them have been fabulous. And so it's just a trend that's probably going to stop now because they want residential neighbors. And I love the idea, I really do, but I just don't think that's the location. The only commercial adjacent is a fire department. We can't fight that. That's a welcome benefit, and it helps with insurance to be so close there. But a dog kennel, which could become boarding someday because that's a large enough place, is questionable to me at this time. So I would ask that you reconsider and not give approval at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from anyone else? If not, we'll entertain a motion, recommendation to the commissioners.
So moved.
Favorable?
Favorable.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
One opposed.
One opposed. Okay. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did I remember to remind you all of what has become the largest St. Patrick's Day parade in Vigo County?
You
On
did
March
not remember,
14th
but thank you.
in Vigo County, the largest. It's on March 14th, starts at 1 o'clock at Schulte and heads down Ohio to 19th to St. Patrick's School. So you'll have to come to the parade and find out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next item under new business, City County General Ordinance, docket number 23, General Ordinance number 1, 2026, amendment to the Flood Damage Prevention Ordinance for Vigo County.
This amendment to the Vigo County Flood Damage Prevention Ordinance establishes a verification process for new construction occurring within flood-prone areas. It creates a certificate of compliance that is issued by the Area Planning Department after proof that a building was built to safety levels promised in the original plans. Accessory structures are not included in the amendment to reduce burden on property owners for non-occupied structures. The certificate of compliance will only apply to regulations within the Flood Damage Prevention Ordinance. If it's required, a separate certificate of occupancy would need to be obtained from building inspection. It is common for construction projects to shift slightly during the building process by prohibiting occupancy until compliance is proven. The county protects residents from moving into potentially dangerous situations. So we would like to amend to add both the definition and just the italicized portion of the text on the second page.
Questions or comments from Plan Commission members on the certificate of compliance additional language? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. I would like permission to deviate from the order on our last 2 agenda items. Jared said it makes sense to address docket number 21 resolutions prior to our last general ordinance item. You could move to allow me to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We have to make a motion.
Oh, so moved.
Second.
Those in favor? Okay, so we'll move to line item M, resolutions, docket number 21, resolution number 1, 2026, resolution of the Vigo County Area Plan Commission designating and declaring a schedule of fees for applications, petitions, and permits.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to go out of order this evening. When I wrote the intros for these, I wrote them in that order, and they got docketed in a different order. So thank you for allowing me to do things out of order. So each winter, I have the opportunity to sit down and review the yearly submittals to our office and compare those to past averages. Along with those submittals, fees are collected. From those two numbers, it's easy to see where our office stands in the way of offsetting our expenses by user fees. So below in your packet here is the current schedule of fees and how those numbers compare to our current budgeted expenses. So it has always been the intent of our office to remain fiscally responsible. Our goal is to offset 100% of our expenses by user fees. We know that this will never entirely happen without drastic fee increases, and we're always going to be dependent on county council and the general fund to cover our salaries. However, normal business operating expenses could and perhaps should be entirely offset by user fees. It's worth noting that the entirety of the fee schedule hasn't been updated since 2016. The last update to adjust fees was affixed to just subdivisions and county rezonings. That was in 2022. So, noting the existing gap between intake and expenditure, we began to explore remedies in the schedule that you see above in the report. And you may first notice that the highlighted numbers, we currently do not collect any fees for those items we process for the city of Terre Haute. We also charge no fees for any of the approximately 1,000 permits we issue each year. So those holes in our fee schedule leave areas of opportunity to collapse funding shortages. With that in mind, and with consent and advice of the commissioners, our office has endeavored a multi-step approach to make our office fiscally responsible in the near term and for many years to come. So this is step one, which is a new fee schedule. Our first course of action in consideration of a new fee schedule was to determine an appropriate level of fees. Our office surveyed 16 different communities, and that's attached in your packet. It starts with this. All of those are in there. So the 16 different communities, which were counties, municipalities, and jurisdictions of varying sizes throughout the state, and then we tabulated the average number for their fees as submitted. Depicted below are the tabulations for the 4 major pillars of fees collected by our office, which is subdivisions major, subdivision minor, Board of Zoning Appeals, and rezoning, compared to the regional means. You can see that on the graph there on the bottom right. Regional means being orange versus our current in blue. So initially, we set targets for the proposed fee schedule to be just below the regional average, but after review, something struck us as being unfair about it and how it was structured. So in our minds, it just didn't seem to be conscientious of us to charge the same for someone subdividing to build a new home as a corporation wanting to develop a large commercial area. And in fact, this same thinking is reflected in other communities and how they structure their fees. So while more difficult for our office, providing a tailored and structured schedule of fees supports individuals based on their specific needs and ensures better equality. So after doing all of this to validate our findings and to demonstrate long-term sustainability, what we'll consider are those 4 main pillars as stated above. So incorporating the new schedule of fees for 44 subdivisions a year, being just 1 lot minor subdivisions, 40 base new residential rezoning petitions, and 26 single request Board of Zoning Appeals cases, along with a below average 800 single family permits a year. We would end up conservatively at about 42,184 in collections, which is well above past revenue expenditures. So the fees as proposed meets our goals to create enough of a surplus, we believe, to cover below average years with a tailored approach as to not to affect the volume of submittals or prohibit growth. So Resolution 1 of 2026, which you have, is a resolution of the Vigo County Area Plan Commission designating and declaring a schedule of fees for the applications, petitions, and permits. So I'll read this in here. Whereas the Vigo County Area Planning Commission is the body charged with the duty of developing a general plan of development for Vigo County, Indiana, and exists and operates under Indiana Code 3674 as amended, and whereas the Vigo County Area Planning Commission has caused to be prepared a schedule of fees to be charged by the commission for various applications, petitions, and permits to defray administrative costs, and whereas the said schedule of fees was presented in this meeting of the Vigo County Area Plan Commission for consideration and approval, which is Exhibit A attached here too and made a part of this resolution. And whereas the commission wishes to approve said schedule of fees pursuant to Indiana Code 3674411 as amended, now therefore be resolved by Vigo County Area Plan Commission as follows. That the schedule of fees conforms to the plan of attempting to defray administrative costs for the county and is provided for under Indiana Code 3674411 as amended. That this declaratory resolution designating and declaring the schedule of fees as approved, ratified, and confirmed. That this resolution constitutes the written order of the Plan Commission approving the schedule of fees pursuant to Indiana law, and that the Secretary of the Plan Commission is directed to file a copy of this resolution with the minutes of the public meeting. That this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after this adoption by the Plan Commission, and that the schedule of fees replaces and supersedes all schedule fees as previously adopted. Now, I will make one amendment to this request, if I may. I don't think timing-wise it makes sense to approve of this and implement it tomorrow. I think it best to be adopted today, but set out a time window into the future. And the reason I say that is in the staff report, in my director's report in the beginning, I make mention of Tyler Technologies. They are working with us to implement online permitting in accordance with the new schedule of fees. And I would like to have them simultaneously roll out so that when the new schedule of fees hits, they'll be able to, whomever wishes a permit would be able to go online then and then pay for that fee online. Or they can come into our office and they could swipe a credit card. Or they can come into the office and give us an account number or a card number and we could type that in and then charge it. So I would like the two to coincide. If we could set the effective date of this out sometime in the near future, we will coordinate with the folks at Tyler, whom have been very good to work with thus far, to roll these out simultaneously.
Okay. And we had discussed in a meeting previously that maybe May 1st would be a good time to start that. Give 60 days for implementation, but actually make it effective May 1st.
May 1st would be great. The second reason I kind of wanted it delayed a little bit was so that there are no impacts to any outstanding bids from contractors that have maybe already quoted prices and have already agreed to certain terms or fee schedules based on the current fee schedule we have. That way it's not awkward. They've got to go back to their customers or their clients and say, I'm sorry, you've got to pay some extra because the fees have gone up last minute.
They just changed the fees, right?
Right. So they can fulfill those contracts as already quoted without any further interference.
Okay. Comments, questions, discussion from Planning Commission members?
I want to commend the staff. They've worked pretty hard on this and got a lot of research out. And I think it pays off, something we probably need to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a couple developers here. Do you see this adversely affecting, developing subdivisions, anything like that?
I have to go on the record and sound opposed to anything that increases the cost.
Yeah.
Usage trigger 23% of the house is the total regulation. That said, I see a lot of friends around the state, I think our prices here and there.
Thank you.
All for it.
Well, and I don't think we've raised them. How long, when did you say the last time our fees changed?
2016.
2016, 10 years.
I think you said it, that all of our fees.
And it is tailored and structured so that those applications and those permit seekers pay a lower fee across the board.
It's time, yeah. Okay.
I would just say, in light of Senate Enrolled Act 1 and the changes that have come to local communities, I know that I speak for the commissioners. We appreciate you guys being proactive with this, very much so. You were the first department that came and said, hey, we've got an idea that, can help the general fund. So we really appreciate that, and thank you for that, and I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Then our last item would be going back up to our general ordinances, docket number 24, general ordinance number 2, 2026, establishing a non-reverting fund ordinance.
So I would actually like to build off what Commissioner Klinkenbeer has said in my report here. right out of the gate, stay straight away that there has been an understandable level of concern by all levels of Indiana local government over the past few years. Since the adoption of Senate Enrolled Act 1 of 2025, signed into law in April of last year, fiscal bodies are preparing for a declining level of revenue into the general fund. As stated by Michael Hicks, who is a professor of economics at Ball State in his guest column in the Tribune Star dated 2/6 of 26, property taxes are not simply another revenue source. They are a primary funding mechanism for local government in Indiana. Police and fire protection, street maintenance, parks, libraries, and much of the public education depend on property tax revenue. When those revenues fall, local government does not gain new efficiencies. By default, they lose capacity. So it is with that in mind that our office would like to contribute to the health and long-term sustainability of the resources provided by Vigo County by removing the demands of our office from the obligation of the general fund. This would apply to all things except salary. It's our belief that the funds generally allocated by council for our operational expenses could be offset by the collection and non-reversion of user fees, and that the newly adopted schedule of fees provides the opportunity and the means by which to accomplish this. Further, self-sufficiency provides for long-term stability and it demands fiscal responsibility. So the fund, once it approved, it will begin to accrue funds. The various fees collected by Vigo County Area Planning Department in the performance of its duties will be placed into a planning and zoning non-reverting fund for use by Vigo County Area Planning Department. It states in there that quarterly reports to the APC on expenditures and income are mandated. However, we intend to do them monthly. We are not going to seek any seed money from county council. This will delay our ability to rely entirely upon the account and will still require council to provide some assistance for fiscal years 27 and even perhaps 28. We are in hopes that thereafter we will not need additional appropriations. We intend to rely entirely on that fund once the balance meets or exceeds 1 year's annual expenditures. So the planning and zoning non-reverting fund shall be non-reverting such that the balance of the said funds will carry over from year to year and will be available to the Vigo County Area Planning Office Department as needed. So our request therefore would be for the Plan Commission to find favorably for the adoption of ordinance number 2 of 2026 establishing a non-reverting fund to be used for costs and expenses of the Vigo County Area Planning Department incurred in the enforcement of the zoning, subdivision, and flood control ordinance and certain provisions of the Vigo County government and the use and development of land within Vigo County. So the ordinance as it reads is ordinance number 2 of 2026. Also want to call out there is an amended version. So please refer to the handout, which is the amended version. That it was not included in your packets. You do have a new version there. So ordinance number 2 of 2026, it will be of the Board of Commissioners of Vigo County. States, whereas it has been determined by the Board of Commissioners of Vigo County that Vigo County Area Planning Department is in need of a dedicated fund to carry out duties and responsibilities of Vigo County Area Planning Department, and whereas the request of the Vigo County Area Planning Department, the Board of Commissioners of Vigo County hereby establishes a planning and zoning non-reverting fund wherein various fees collected by the Vigo County Area Planning Department shall be deposited and utilized by the Vigo County Area Planning Department in the performance of its required duties, and whereas fines, costs, and fees levied in collection in enforcing the zoning, subdivision, and flood control ordinances and certain other provisions of the Vigo County Code governing the use and development of land within Vigo County be placed into the planning and zoning non-reverting fund for the use by the Vigo County Area Planning Department to carry out the duties and responsibilities, excluding the salaries of the Vigo County Area Planning Department, and whereas the Executive Director of the Vigo County Area Planning Department shall submit a quarterly report of expenditures for the Planning and Zoning Non-Reverting Fund with the Vigo County Area Plan Commission. Now therefore it be ordained by the Board of Commissioners of Vigo County as follows. The Board of Commissioners of Vigo County hereby establishes a planning and non-reverting fund to be used for the costs and expenses of the Vigo County Area Planning Department incurred in the enforcement of the zoning, subdivision, and flood control ordinances and certain provisions of the Vigo County Code governing the use and development of land within Vigo County. The various fees collected by the Vigo County Area Planning Department in the performance of its duties are placed into the Planning and Zoning Non-Reverting Fund for use by the Vigo County Area Planning Department incurred in the enforcement of the zoning, subdivision, and flood control ordinances and certain provisions of the Vigo County government governing Vigo County Code governing the use and development of land within Vigo County. 3, the Planning and Zoning Non-Reverting Fund shall be non-reverting such that the balance of said funds will carry over from year to year and be available to the Vigo County Area Planning Department as delineated above. with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I'm going to take a deep breath for a minute.
Any comments or discussion?
I'll add that I think this, along with the increases in the funding opportunities, is a great opportunity. I might disagree with Jared. I probably would have led with this, although it's worked out for you, because I think this is a great tool. We use it in our Department of Engineering, and it gives us a lot of flexibility and really helps drive performance too. Getting to more of a business-like model, it's a different model for government, and it's been successful for us.
It's probably important to note that you would still have to go to the council and ask for the funds out of that non-reverting fund, but it's not they usually look at that a little more favorable than just asking for a request out of general funds, so.
You are correct, and I did not stipulate in that report, and I have since learned by talking to others that the money collects into the fund, but then we do have to go to council to ask that we be allocated monies out of those funds for operational expenses.
Right.
So instead of going to them with individual line items, we would go to them and request X amount of dollars from a non-reverting fund to be applied to operational expenditures for a calendar year.
Right.
So like if you wanted to buy another vehicle, for instance, and you had this non-reverting fund, it would be a lot easier to take it out of that.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah, that we have no plans for that in the near,
Right.
probably in the next decade.
Right.
But there are other plans for this, and we foresee a need that is coming quickly, and we would like to, at some point in time, if need be, utilize some of these funds for some of these other larger projects that we're uncertain whether or not we could get funding from council for. Whether that be digitizing existing subdivision folders, we have rows and rows and rows of cabinets in there that are just full of historic documents that need to be preserved, that haven't been. Or it be an upgraded software that controls and helps us maintain a catalog of our permitting, which we have been told repeatedly that it's on the verge of collapsing.
Right.
Those things need funding, and we think this could be one source, if not made available, or if not available,
Right.
that could fund those.
Well, and certainly you're requesting money out of your own piggy bank.
Yeah.
You're not requesting money out that somebody else might want to take for something else. It's designated for this, so it's much less scrutinized.
I assume you can budget at the beginning of the year for these
Sure.
funds for next year,
Sure.
what's in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, comments?
I make a motion to approve.
Pardon?
I have something. I just went by the property that was up on your docket, number 17 file, Mallory Grace subdivision. And I own the property on the corner, and they've leveled and put stakes out and tore my fence down on my property. They don't own my property, so I don't know what's going on with it. You passed that they could do the major, like their major thing, but they're intruding on my property.
That would be something for code enforcement, not this body.
Call Terre Haute
I
Building
mean, they've already
Inspection.
leveled,
Is it-
tore the fence down when they surveyed.
Is it in the city?
They were sitting here.
Give Terre Haute Building Inspection a call tomorrow. Jason Holler should be able to help you out with that.
Did you give them permission to build on it today? I mean, you passed something
I think we did.
for the subdivision, on the main subdivision.
Which one was it? Mallory?
The Mallory subdivision.
Oh, they got primary. so
They got
can-
primary. Is that
Primary.
just the,
That's not secondary yet. No, they do
Just
not
the
have
back
permission
part?
to get building permits or anything yet. It's
So they would,
primary. Go ahead.
they wouldn't be eligible to get building permits, but site clearing would be something they could do.
they've already done that. It's all leveled and all marked off. I went by there just now and they've torn my fence down and everything.
I would recommend you reach out to Jason Holler tomorrow and City Building Inspection and City Engineering.
I'm not happy with it.
Well, we had a motion.
Do we have a motion on,
Not yet.
on the floor?
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we do. We have a motion
Do
on
we
the
have
floor.
a second?
Not yet.
No second.
We do now. Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I think we approved it, I think we named the date. Yeah, May 1st, you don't need anything further on the May date starting for the fee schedule. It was passed, it was part of the discussion. I think we're good, yeah. Had a motion for adjournment.
So moved, yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'll make another one.
Now, we're adjourned.
She kinda got us off track there, right in the middle, didn't she? Oh. How you doing? You're looking good. You're feeling good.
Well, my knees are jacked up.